Well, Secret Invasion continues on with Betrayed. Yeah. No, it's not about the Marvel fandom. The show still trudges along very slowly. They only have, I think, 6 episodes, so it's like, what the hell? Pick up the pace. But there's not a lot to work with. They've already said there are no superheroes in this show. Which, yeah, I mean, I can understand them focusing around Fury, but even though this episode mentioned another plot point that is a derivative from the Secret Invasion comic book, in that they figured out how to not only copy people, and they've already demonstrated they can download their minds, and but now they can gain superpowers. Now he just says we're going to be Super Skrulls. Now, of course, Super Skrull refers to a particular Skrull that was a big enemy of the Fantastic Four, because he could mimic all their superpowers, stretching and whatnot. He could do anyway, but he could turn invisible like Invisible Woman, and could actually transform into the Thing, but not just look like the Thing. He could have the Thing's super strength, and of course the Human Torch's powers. He had those, but those are the powers he had. In Secret Invasion, they were copying the different powers of the superheroes, so that when they replaced them and took over their lives and everything, you had to have the superpowers. People were going to notice, you don't have any power. You're just some idiot in a suit. But that's what they did. So this is the big machine and I figured that was seen at the end of the last episode. So Gravik just flat out says, hey, we're going to get superpowers. So, hey, there you go. Great, huh? Meanwhile, there's a plot to fire a nuke at a United Nations aircraft or something like that, or not a nuke, missiles or whatever. I think it seemed they sure were acting like nuclear missiles, so it has to have been, because they had the order sent to the guys with the keys to fire them, and that's a lot of trouble. Seems like those would be nukes, but anyway, Fury and Telos got to stop this and race to stop it, and they realized the Skrulls have replaced the people in positions of leadership and power, and so they managed to break into the house of the guy, admiral or whatever, who's in charge, who can give the order to abort the mission. And but the Skrull is so very insulting towards Telos. Oh yeah, and Telos had a meeting with Gravik, and it didn't go well. He stabbed Gravik in the hand. And after he left, Gravik ripped his hand out of the fork or knife or whatever it was. And his hand healed very much like the Extremis thing in the Iron Man movie. So I'm wondering if they screwed with that as well. But anyway, and so him and Fury arrive at this house, and they're interrogating the guy. Fury shoots the guy in the leg to get him to talk. And then Talos gets so mad. He was supposed to be the good cop, but then he just shoots the Skrull in the chest, and he dies. And Fury's like, well, now we don't have the secret code. So, I know. So he calls his daughter in the heart of the enemy. And so she's like, okay, I'll get the code. So she's got to go to the real admiral, and he's hooked up to the mind reading machine, and she, reads the data on his mind and shows a bunch of imagery from his life, all that. And it's almost like she's like, wow, he had problems with his child too, just like me and Daddy. I guess. Anyway, she gets the code. The code is the name of the guy's son. And so there you go. It aborts. The missile doesn't shot. But it turns out the whole mission was just so Gravik could ferret out the traitor that they knew was in their midst. And he already suspected her anyway. And so he shoots her. She seemingly is dead. We'll see. Would they really kill Khaleesi in the 3rd episode? So anyway, yeah, that's the deal. The other big reveal. Of course, they'd already revealed that it appears Nick Fury is married to a Skrull. It wasn't clear if he was aware of this. She changed before he came into the house. But now she's like a sleeper cell agent or what have you. She makes contact with the Skrulls, saying she wants to meet with Gravik, and they said, well, you'll have to deal with us first, or whatever, whoever her contact is. And that's the deal. She goes to a safety deposit box and pulls out a gun and all that. So it appears she was put there to spy on Nick Fury, but does that mean his real wife is either dead or stuck in one of those tubes with all her memories? I don't know. So that's the deal. In some elements, it was a little more interesting, especially when they made nods to the real story. But a lot of it is still just rather slow and boring, and just this is the third episode in. The first two are just really knocking you around. And it's funny because Telos was kind of giving Fury a dose of his own medicine, but he wasn't taking any of it on all the lectures and whatnot. So, yeah, in one ear and out the other. So anyway, I guess as it goes, this was better than the first two. But, that's not much.